in this part of the tutorial, we're just going to be creating the bubble effect. So this is basically the particle system that we're going to use to emit bubbles from any kind of movement. So the idea is that we just want bubbles to come out whenever the drone is moving or whenever the submarine is moving. So the first thing I did was create a particle effect called it bubble. And what I want to do is I want to have it emitting at a particular scale that is not obviously bigger than the object. So we're probably going to be reducing the size. Right now I'm just positioning the particle effect next to the drone. This is going to be the first bubble effect that we want to add. And what I want to do with this effect as well is I want to make sure that it's 3D. So right now you can see that it's all 2D particles coming from a material. So I changed the start speed to 1. I also want this to be looping. I want the gravity modifier to be minus 0.05. Just have a slow rise, almost similar to the way bubbles will rise up underwater. We also want a simulation space to be a world simulation space. And the reason I'm going to do this is because this is going to be emitting based on the movement of the actual particle effect. So I'm change the max particles to 5,000, and I'm going to do the rate over time to 0 and set the rate over distance to 3. And what this is going to do is just, like you can see here, when I move the particle effect, it's going to actually just emit bubbles, and that's the main function of this particle effect. Next thing I want to do is I want to change the color of a lifetime. I want it to turn invisible. So basically the alpha on at the end is going to go down to 70, and at the start it's going to be a color of blue and be fully opaque. So we just want it to become a bit more transparent as it flies up in the air. Size over lifetime as well, I want it to be on a particle system curve, going from 1 to 0 from left to right on the curve. So it just gets smaller over time as well as it goes into the air, or goes up. And in the renderer, I need to change the the render mode from billboard to mesh, and then change that mesh to sphere. So right now you can see it's a cube, but the problem is we've got like cubes with images of the particle material on there. So I want it to be a sphere first, and then I want to change the material to just a flat color or a flat blue material. So right now I've just changed the sphere, which looks kind of cool right now, but I think it could be better just with a flat material. So I'm going to change that to just a blue bubble material that I created earlier. And there you go. So we've got a nice little bubble effect already happening. The only thing is now we need to tweak the scale, and also think the shape can be changed. So I want to change the shape from cone to ring. Let's see what its sphere looks like. So right now I'm just going to change the scale and also just play around with it and see. So right now it's emitting at every angle. So what you're going to notice is with sphere emission, it sends out the particles in all different angles randomly. But I don't think that's what I want. I mainly want the particles just emitting and floating upwards. I don't really want it floating downwards. So I've changed it to ring, and this is a bit more of an effect that I want. But you can see when you move the ring, the bubbles are starting off at the same level and then slowly floating upwards. And I'm just playing with the scale a bit more. And the next thing I want to do is I want to parent the bubble to the aquadrone. So I'm just going to experiment with some different ways of parenting. Right now, when I drop it on to the drone, it doesn't look so great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a parent constraint to the bubble material. I'm going to drag the aqua drone into this source constraint, and let's give it a test and see what that looks like. Okay, so far we're not seeing any emission. So what I want to do is try out, click the active button, so it is active, and give it another test, and we should get that particle effect that we're looking for, the bubble effect that we're looking for. This looks perfect. I want to add this also to the submarine, so I'm also going to just create a second one, a parent to the submarine.